With a soft rustling of the sheets, Frederick wakes from his dreamless sleep. He turns on the lights and looks down at Bubbles, who is still snuggled up against him, looking mighty comfortable. She purrs and growls softly as she rests, and he could swear she is even smiling in her sleep. My little murder kitten. He gently strokes the top of her snout, savouring all the little noises she makes in response. It fills him with a warmth and calm he has not felt in what feels like a long, long time. Rise and shine, sweetie. We got a whole new day ahead of us, he whispers, gently coaxing her. Her ears twitch at his voice, but she doesn't react otherwise. I know you're awake, he teases. She growls groggily, clearly not awake right now. I gotta get up, he pleads with her. She grumbles in response, making no effort to get off his legs, comfortably nuzzling the soft blanket instead. He sighs and decides that it is probably time to bring out the big guns and tickles her neck. Bubbles wildly flails around in defense, helplessly making several chortles and yips as he presses the attack. Seems the little miss hasn't met the tickle monster lately, he threatens playfully, speaking in a comically deep monster voice. She cries out in response, having an absolute blast as she desperately gasps for air. He fools around with her for a bit, but stops after a few moments, careful not to accidentally overdo it. She complains after catching her breath, rolling over to the side as she huffs exhausted. You awake now? He grins. She growls, softly biting his shin in retaliation. Ow, ow. Okay, ow. Point taken, he begs, as her teeth threaten to break his skin. She stops after digging in just a little bit more, and looks back at him with a look. Truce, he offers, still feeling her phantom teeth on his shin. She closes her eyes resolutely, and lets her head slump back in the soft bedding, still a bit mad, but agreeing wordlessly nonetheless. Okay, he gestures at her, still lying on top of his legs. You can stay in bed a bit longer, sweetie, but I really gotta go now. Got important sitting coming up. She brushes him off, not bothering to open her eyes, as she lazily rolls off of him. Thanks. He gives her a quick scritch behind the ear as he takes the blanket off, and drapes part of it over her. She tries to play annoyed, but he knows better. Grumpy head, he teases. He jumps off the bed and urgently makes his way over to the bathroom. After locking the door behind him, he takes care of his business at the suspicious hole in the ground. That's going to take some getting used to, he complains. Not overly enthusiastic about that aspect of life in an alien world. Could be worse, though. Don't have to use shells, he chuckles. As he washes his hands, he splashes some cold water in his face and dries himself off with a towel, still surprised how soft all of them have been. And the fact that they have towels at all. Seeing something familiar in such an alien place is kind of uncanny, in an odd way. As he puts the towel and that particular train of thought away, he takes his first look in the mirror since he arrived in this world. Oh boy. Wow. His blonde hair looks horribly unkempt and extremely messy, and his scruffy beard is just as bad. It is the longest it has ever been, and together with his hair, makes him look like a homeless person. Maybe even a bit like the office workers at HQ after a week or two of 16-hour shifts. Yikes. Poor bastards. He stares at himself for a moment, marvelling at his huge eye bags, and utters a brief, silent prayer for those poor souls. At least my face looks just as shit as the rest then. A well-rounded package, he laughs dryly, as he pulls down his lower eyelid, more amused by his looks than anything else right now. Feeling much fresher and lighter, he returns to the bedroom, where Bubbles is still lying on the bed as she looks at him lazily. Her tail is wagging slowly as she bark purrs him a greeting. Good morning to you too, he replies with vigour. He walks back to the bed and kneels down in front of Bubbles and cups the side of her head in his right hand. She gladly leans into it and begins to purr as he strokes the area underneath her eyes with his thumb. Sorry for earlier, we alright? He asks her, withdrawing his hand again to rest it on his knee. Glad to hear it, he responds, and can't help himself but smile. Hey, weird question. Would you say I look particularly, bad? Gee, thanks. Not that kind of bad. More like not healthy. Really? Guess that would make sense. Thanks. He gets back up and does some stretches, feeling a bit sore. You want to pick out something for you to wear then? She eagerly chitters on, surprising him a bit. You're pretty talkative this morning, aren't you? She purrs proudly with her head held high. You're doing great, sweetie. He praises her with a hint of fatherly pride. She jumps down on the floor and he notices her hesitate for a moment. Thank you. She tentatively thanks him with a deep, guttural pronunciation somewhere between a demon from the sixth layer of hell and the sounds the souls of the damned would make. It is quite surreal, but he doesn't even care a bit about the way she sounds. His mind is on one thing only, and after the initial shock wears off, he looks at her with wide eyes. Did you really just... She looks away shyly, lowly purring to herself until he takes her into his arms. I'm so proud of you, he tells her in a soft voice. Her tail slowly starts wagging again as she shifts her around in his arms to hold her a bit more comfortably. You are amazing, he assures her. She stays silent and he can feel that electric tingling in the back of his head again, receiving a glimpse of insecurity. Bubbles, you don't have to be ashamed of the way you sound when you speak, you hear me? You really did great. Huh? Hooray! Really, sweetie? He gently pats her behind the ears. You're unique in every sense of the word, and that is a wonderful thing, he tells her with urgency. She leans in a bit and rests her head on his shoulder, burbling lowly. You are the cutest, most intelligent there is, he tells her, returning the nuzzle. My little murder kitten. No problem, sweetie. That's what I'm here for. He holds her like that for a while, enjoying the moment. Now, about time we got you something pretty to wear, he asks. She attempts, visibly trying her hardest. You don't have to push yourself, Bubbly. One step at a time, all right? She replies a bit downtrodden. Don't worry, sweetie. It took me literal years to learn how to speak. Would you believe that? Ah, come on. You're doing great. They both make their way over to the dresser Curie got him his clothes from yesterday, and he starts searching for anything that could be turned into a bandana of sorts. Together with Bubbles, he quickly manages to find a few differently coloured pieces of fabric, asking her for her opinion each time. This one? How about this one? Green? This one, he asks, Bubbles nodding fervently. All right then, yellow it is. But you'll have to get down first. Okay, she shrieks. Yup, and down you go. She jumps down from his shoulders, suddenly landing on the floor. That was pretty good, by the way. Oh, want me to show you how it's done? Yes, she beams. Okay, watch. He unfolds the almost square piece of cloth, and after folding it into a triangle, he rolls it up to present it to Bubbles. Ta-da! A perfectly fine, regular old bandana, just like back home. Crap, You want to try for yourself? He asks. Bubbles nodding. Sure, but be careful with your claws. This is not ours. Okay. He tenderly unfolds the piece again and spreads it out on the floor, picking up another one to show her how to do it step by step. And to her credit, she does amazingly well, even without thumbs. After she is done, she grabs the slightly crooked piece with her mouth and proudly presents it to him. Good job, he praises her, carefully accepting it as she drops it out of her mouth. He loosely ties it around her neck and gives her a reassuring smile. You look absolutely adorable, Bubbly. Yellow definitely was the right choice. Absolutely. Just like a real princess, he assures her with a wink. So, Your Royal Majesty, up for some breakfast? Her ears perk up at hearing the B word, and the little beast explodes into motion with an amount of energy only a child could possess so early in the morning. That a yes? He asks her with amusement. Yes. Well then, time to see if the others are up already. With Bubbles excitedly trotting next to him, Frederick exits the room and makes his way to the kitchen/living room. Halfway there, a female voice suddenly calls out to him from behind. Frederick, Celashir, Curie greets him, waving her upper right hand. Hey, Celashir Curie, he happily replies in Uni, waving back to her. Bubbles merrily adds. Curie jogs over and flashes both him and Bubbles a smile so bright, It could have been used as a nav beacon.
Je ne sais, Bubbles.
Kiri greets the pup as well, reaching down to give her a pat on the head.
Colour on Bubbles. Very nice, she compliments.
Bubbles yips happily.
You sleep good? She asks him.
Yes, me sleep good, thank you.
Not bad thing,
she replies enthusiastically, grinning wide as the three of them continue down the hallway. Not bad thing, he chuckles. And you sleep good? He tries his best at small talk.
Me? She asks, and Frederick nods in response. Yes, me sleep good. Do work for Kisan.
Rah, Bubbles adds, trying to be part of the conversation. Kiri tilts her head to the side and looks at her in amusement.
You very interesting, Bubbles. Me like you.
He belly laughs at the honest comment. Yeah, Bubbles very interesting, he agrees with her. She joyfully hums at his response, remaining silent for the remaining few meters.